Association football is the most popular sport in the world, played in almost every country by over 250 million people. It was the British who popularised the sport, and in 1863, the year in which the English FA was founded, the official rules of the game were penned. Almost 6 decades later, an Englishman named Harold S. Thornton tried to recreate the sport on a smaller scale by using a box and some matchsticks. In 1923, Thornton patented a game called table football. Transworld Sport recently met up with one of table football's leading players, a 28-year-old Bulgarian who we caught up with in Sofia.
Hi, I'm Ekaterina Atanasova and you're watching Transworld Sport.
Ekaterina Atanasova has clinched over 20 singles titles on the International Table Soccer World Tour. Unlike most of her competitors, Ekaterina hasn't turned professional, but she has managed to win the sport's 3 biggest tournaments: the Roberto World Championship Series, the Women's World Cup and the European Team Championship. She took up table football at the age of 16.
Back then I wasn't competing as such, I was mostly playing just for fun. But in 2006 I entered the Bulgarian National Championships and won. I qualified for the World Championships, and that's when I saw the game in an incredible new way. I saw that table football was a real sport, which was played by many people around the world. I decided right there and then that I wanted to be part of it. I was completely drawn in by the magic of the competition, and I've now been playing table football for 7 years.
The International Table Soccer Federation, or the ITSF, was founded in 2002, and with it a world tour which has since visited 5 continents. Although table football has gained popularity in recent years, it still pales in comparison to other traditional bar games such as pool and darts. However, both Ekaterina and her training partner Alexandra are hopeful for the future of their sport.
Before, it was just a game people would play when they went to the pub, a hobby rather than something you'd want to be professional in. But in the last few years it's grown. More and more people around the world are playing it, and there are more tournaments that you can enter.
Table football is developing really fast, so much so that I believe it could be just as popular as table tennis in the future. Some people say that the 2 sports used to be on par with one another, but table tennis developed in the right direction, and it quickly became a recognized sport.
A full-time website designer, Ekaterina practices around 6 times a week, and her training extends beyond the mere table. She regularly heads to the National Sport Academy's athletics track in Sofia, where she runs for an hour.
In order to compete in table football, you need to be in good shape. You have to be fast, you have to concentrate, you have to have good coordination between your left and right hand. That is very important. At the same time, you also need to be physically fit, which I get by running. I exercise my arms regularly too. I have a set fitness routine, which I follow, and it gets intensified ahead of competitions. My training varies throughout the year, but I'd say that it's always pretty tough.
Her work ethic has translated into results on the international stage. At the start of 2012, the Bulgarian hit the top of the ITSF World Rankings before going on to win the Roberto World Championship Series in April of that year. Nine months later, she clinched the sport's biggest accolade, the World Cup in France, beating the German favourite Lily Andres in the final.
Winning the World Cup got me a lot of recognition for all the work I put in. The feeling was great. My last game was the final, and I couldn't believe that I won it. I was just taking each game as it came, expecting to be defeated at some stage. It took me a bit of time to realise that I'd beaten everyone and won the whole tournament. It was just an amazing feeling.
Table football has afforded Ekaterina the opportunity to travel the world and experience different cultures and traditions. Last year she was invited to Germany to compete with the Berlin Bears, whom she led to the Bundesliga title. Away from her sport, the 28-year-old is passionate about a traditional pastime originating a lot closer to home: horo dancing.
I started dancing not long ago, when I was 20 years old, but since then I've been practicing a lot. 2 years ago I signed up for a choreography class in Bulgarian folk dancing, which I completed. I now devise different routines for the group.
Horo dances are typically performed in circles or lines. The metre of Bulgarian folk music is such that the steps alternate between slow, graceful movements and quick, complex patterns. Ekaterina's dance troupe perform at weddings and festivals and occasionally compete in regional competitions. Regardless of their schedule, training sessions are always intense.
Our dance crew practices twice a week. One rehearsal is 2 hours long, and the other is around 3.5 hours long. We practice really hard, and at the end of it, we're all wringing wet. However, we really enjoy it. The group is very close. We have all known each other for a while now. When people join our ensemble and get to know everyone, they never leave. We're just one big happy family. That's the way I see it.
Although she is a talented dancer, Ekaterina's true love remains table football. In recent years, she's not only garnered a reputation as one of the best female players in the world, but she's also helped bridge the gender divide in the sport by competing against and often beating male opponents in open singles tournaments. She's a fierce competitor who believes that her best days are still ahead of her.
I like playing table football, or jagi as we call it in Bulgaria, because first and foremost I feel that this is my game. At the table I forget about everything else, and it's something that just gives me great pleasure. The adrenaline during competitions is enormous, and I genuinely think that I'm addicted to it. That is the best way to describe it. I just love playing.
Ekaterina is the best player in the world. There's no one who can match her. She's always so focused and she has great concentration. She has great flexes and is also incredibly competitive. She's so talented.
Ekaterina Atanasova, the queen of table football.